Hi, I'm Nico. Just a little shout out before we begin. I'm hosting a retreat this November 6th through 13th in Guatemala. It's called Kawak Forest along Lake Atitlan in San Marcos. If you would like to get more information about this, go to Nico's Flows, NICOSFLOWS.com, and go enter your email to get more information about the retreat. But nice gentle flow today. Let's start seated for a moment. Take a few seconds to check in. And then let's take a few breaths all together. So start by exhaling all of your air out. Big inhale through the nose to fill. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. 2 more, inhale, fill. Exhale, let it go. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Lovely. So today is all about spinal health. And to keep the spine healthy, we want to find lots of movement in it. So throughout the class, I just want you to try to find as much gentle movement through the spine as you possibly can. We're not forcing it to do anything it doesn't want to, just moving it in a really nice way, very fluid, very dynamic. We'll start in tabletop position. So come onto your hands and your knees. And start by warming up the wrists. So bring your fingers out wide and then rock your shoulders one direction and the other. And then bring either just one hand or both hands. Spin the fingers back towards the knees. Maybe you press the hips towards the heels, stretching through the backs of the wrists. Bring your fingers back forward. We'll tuck the toes underneath the feet and then sit the hips to the heels. This is toe pose. We're going to see if we can find some spinal movement here. So as you inhale, bring the hands up overhead. And then as you exhale, twist to the right, bring your left hand outside the right knee. And then maybe you wrap your right arm back behind you, reaching for your left hip crease. Just a really gentle twist here. Release, bring it up through center. And then exhale, twist the other way. Bring your right hand outside the left knee, left hand to the right hip if you can. You can always release if this gets too much in the toes. Release, bring it up through center. And exhale, bring the hands forward, tap out the toes. Find some cat-cow. So as you inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart, cow pose. Exhale, round into your cat. See if you can let the tailbone lead. So tailbone tucks up. The rest of the spine ripples you into your cow pose. Tuck your tailbone in, ripple into your cat. 2 more. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale to neutral. We'll tuck the toes and then roll the hips all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Again, moving through the spine here. As you inhale, lift your heels up towards the sky. Round through the back of the heart, tuck your chin towards your chest. Press the back of your heart forward. Then as you exhale, lower your heels, bend your knees, press your heart towards your thigh. So this is kind of like cow pose here. Then as you inhale, heels lift, straighten the legs, almost like cat round the spine. Exhale, cow. Press your heart towards your thighs. One more time. Inhale, round. Exhale, melt. Inhale, round. And then use your core, walk your feet nice and slow up towards your hands. For ragdoll pose, bend the knees, let the spine release on top of the thighs and shake it out. See if you can really let go of any of the tension in the spine and just shake your hips right and left. Slow the motion a little bit until you come to center. Bend the knees even deeper, and then one vertebra at a time, slowly roll all the way up. If you have a really sensitive lower back, I would recommend going up with a straight spine instead of rolling up. Once you get to the top, let's shrug out the shoulders a couple times. And then let's bring the feet a little bit wider here. Finding some gentle twists, and the goal here is to kind of let the hips move you. So swing the hips to the right and to the left, and let the rest of the spine and the arms just kind of move. So the hips are really guiding this here. Start to slow it down. Move the hips less and less. Again, arms are just waving until you move to center. And then we'll go into some spinal waves. So we'll start with the head and work our way down. So the head goes forward and back, and the rest of the spine ripples until you bend your knees. And then the head goes forward, and then you ripple all the way. And if you feel weird doing this, great. I do too. And if you're not getting it, just slow it down. Or try to speed it up, whatever helps. We're just trying to move the spine as much as you can. See if you can get a little bit bigger with the movement. And then make it smaller. Beautiful. Keep the feet where they are. Find some stillness. Inhale, reach up with the hands. Grab your left wrist with your right hand, pull up and out of your left hip, and stretch over to the right. Lengthen through both side bodies, so keep that right side body long too. Breathe. Inhale, bring it up through center. And then we'll ground down into your right foot. Bring your left foot to the back of the mat for warrior two. Really open up through the right knee. Gaze comes over the right fingertips. If your hips aren't quite open for this yet, you can always kind of straighten this or come into more of a warrior one stance, pulling those left toes in a little bit. Just check in with what feels best for your body. And we'll find some spinal movement here and engage that core. So the stronger the core, the healthier the spine as well. Inhale, reach your right arm up and back. And then we'll exhale to extended side angle, drop the right hand, lift the left hand up. Do that a couple more times. Inhale, lift up and back. Exhale, drop it in. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach up and back, reverse warrior, hold. For 3, 2. Cartwheel your hands down to frame your right foot. Bring your right foot back, high plank. You can keep the knees up or drop them, and we'll lower all the way down to the mat. Bring the hands up to a cactus. Press into the tops of the feet, and then using the strength of your back, lift your heart space up. Really find that strength in the back, your erector spinae. And then inhale, reach your hands forward. Exhale, pull the elbows back. Inhale, reach them forward. Keep the heart space lifted. Exhale, pull them back. You got it. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Lift the heart space even more. Hold, breathe for 3, 2. Plant the hands outside the heart space. Let the heart space drop. Tuck your toes. Inhale through tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Press your hips to your heels. If this feels like too much in the knees, you can sit up a little higher on a pillow or on a block. If it feels like too much in the shoulders, you can bring the hands back towards the heels. Let yourself relax for a few breaths. If you brought your hands back, let's bring them back forward. Then inhale, find your tabletop. This time we're doing kind of like the opposite of cat-cows. So cat-cow, but side to side. So bring your right hip over and see if you can almost bring your right ear so like it could touch the right hip. And then we'll swing it to the other side, the left hip to left ear. Do that a few more times at your own pace. Bring it one way and the other. And then bring it through center. We'll tuck the toes again, downward facing dog, roll the hips up and back. This time we'll roll the heart space forward all the way to high plank. You might need to walk the hands out a little bit. And then we'll bend the knees really deep, let the hips roll up and back to downward facing. Do that a couple more times. Inhale, bring it forward, high plank. Exhale, roll the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Last time, inhale, roll it forward. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, high plank, bring it forward, engage the core, and then walk the feet to the hands again to ragdoll pose. Bring the feet hip-width distance apart, and you might bring a block or a water bottle or some books underneath the hands. And then inhale, reach your right hand up towards the sky. Lengthen through the spine, get deep into this twist. See if you can ground down into both of the feet. Let your right hand pull you up into your standing twist. Option to stay here, or bring your right hand to the back of your right leg, lift up and out of your left hip with your left hand, little gentle back bend here. And then cartwheel the hands all the way back down, forward fold. Keep the right hand where it is, reach up with the left hand. Really lengthen through the spine, find that deep thoracic twist. Ground down into the feet, let your left hand pull you up. Maybe you bring the left hand to the back of the left leg, right hand reaches up. Gentle back bend here. And release, cartwheel the hands down. Inhale, find a halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, upward salute, rise, reach tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Let them go down by the sides. Okay, now we're gonna do, I'm just turning to face you. We're gonna do those spinal waves like we were just doing, but side to side. So you'll start to wave your head over to the left, and then the rest of the spine will follow, like this. And you might need to really slow it down. This one's a little bit more challenging, but again, we're really just trying to move the spine. So if it looks more like this for you, that's also fine. But if you can, let's really try to find that spinal wave. See if you can make it a little bit bigger. And then make it smaller and smaller, slowing it down a little bit until you make it back center. Keep the feet hip-width distance apart, reach up with the hands. Grab your right wrist with your left hand this time, pull up and out of your right hip and stretch over to the left. Next inhale, bring it up through center. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift. Use the strength of your spine. See if you can hold here, bend the knees. Only if it feels okay in the back, reach the hands forward. And then bring it all the way up, upward salute. Yeah, big, long, straight spine. We'll find warrior two, so step the right foot back first, and then spin the heel down, open up through the arms. And you don't have to go super deep in this, so if your hips aren't feeling it, you can go be about right here too. And then again, this is about finding strength in the core and the spine. Next inhale, find your reverse warrior, left hand goes up and back. And then we'll exhale, extended side angle, drop the left elbow, reach the right hand up. Strengthen the core, 2 more times. Inhale, bring it up. Reverse. Exhale, extended side angle. One more, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior. This time, exhale, cartwheel the hands all the way down. Bring your left foot back to meet the right foot, high plank. Knees up or knees down, we lower all the way down to the mat. This time, see if you can keep your shoulders kind of squared off towards the ground. We'll bend the left knee. Again, shoulders stay same-ish where they are, and see if you can roll onto your right hip, tap the left toes behind. This should feel really good for the lower back. Bring it through center. Switch it out, right knee bends. Roll onto the left hip, tap. Bring it through center. And then you might go at your own pace. I wouldn't go super fast, but just a pace that feels good for you. Bending the knees, tapping the foot back behind you. When you're done, we'll bring it through center. Tuck your toes. Inhale through tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Press your hips to your heels. Finding puppy pose, we'll start to lift the hips and slide the heart space forward. You might bring the heart space onto a pillow or a bolster or some blocks if this feels okay in the shoulders. And then you might play with trying to tuck the pelvis. And then maybe you let the heart space melt. Just seeing, again, just playing with the spine, noticing what feels best in your body. Holding whichever position feels better. Lift up through the heart space just enough to ground down into the forearms. Find Sphinx pose, so lower the hips down to the ground. Elbows are underneath the shoulders. Lift up through the heart space. Finding just a little bit of core here. We'll plant down into the forearms. Tuck your toes underneath your feet. Engage the legs first. Engage the core. Lift the hips. Low plank. Breathe here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower the hips all the way down. And then we'll flip onto our backs. Finding bridge pose. Plant the feet underneath the knees, about hip-width distance apart. Reach the hands towards the heels. Press the feet into the ground to lift the hips up towards the sky. Squeeze inner thighs in towards one another. See if you can tuck the pelvis, lift it a little higher. Lift your heels up. One vertebra at a time. Roll the spine and the hips down. Bring both knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Keep your right knee where it is. Extend your left leg long in front of you, nice and straight. And then drop your right knee over towards the left side, body open up. I like to scoop my hips over towards the right a little bit. For supine twist, bring the hands to a cactus or a T and let gravity do all of the work for you. Bring your knee up through center. I like to move through a bridge pose in between the sides, just kind of reset the hips, reach the hands down towards the heels, press into the feet, lift the hips. I also just love bridge pose. Tuck the pelvis, engage the core. Bridge pose is another pose, just so good for the back. Good for the core. Lift the heels, roll the spine down. Bring the knees into the chest. Keep your left knee, extend your right leg long, and then drop your left knee over towards the right side body, supine twist, open up. Bring the left knee up to center. Give yourself one more big squeeze. And then open up Shavasana pose. Take up space. Let the spine release, relaxing any tension. Take a big inhale through the nose to fill. Open mouth, exhale, let it go, ground down. If you have the time, I encourage you to stay here a little bit longer. If you're ready to move out of this, start to find movement in the fingers, the toes first. Eventually, find a full body stretch with hands reaching up overhead. Bring the knees into the chest, give yourself a squeeze. Find a seat, however feels best for you. As always, thanks for being here. Feel free to leave any question, comments, or requests for the next practice in the comments. And I hope to see you on here again soon. Namaste.